Have you ever sat in a quiet room and wondered why life feels so different after 60? Not bad. Not hopeless. Just different. The house may be clean. The bills may be paid. The television may be on. But somewhere deep inside, there is a feeling you do not always know how to explain. Most people talk about growing older like it is only about retirement, grandchildren, and free time. But they rarely talk about the silence. They rarely talk about waking up and realizing fewer people call. Fewer people ask what you need. Fewer people slow down long enough to really listen. After a certain age, people stop asking, "How are you handling everything?" And they start assuming, "You must be fine." Maybe you have felt this too. Maybe you smile at the grocery store, wave at a neighbor, answer the phone with a cheerful voice, and still carry a quiet heaviness nobody sees. And by the end of this video, you may look at your own life differently. Because the hidden struggles of growing old in America are not always loud. Sometimes they sit beside you at the kitchen table. Sometimes they show up in an empty passenger seat. Sometimes they appear when you reach for the phone, then decide not to bother anyone. There is a kind of strength older adults carry that many people never notice. It is the strength of adjusting. Again and again. You adjust when your body does not move the way it used to. You adjust when friends move away, get sick, or pass on. You adjust when your children are busy building their own lives. You adjust when the world seems faster, louder, and less patient than it used to be. And this is the part nobody talks about. Aging is not just about getting older. It is about losing little pieces of the life you knew, while still trying to protect your dignity. Think about a man named Robert. He is 72 years old. He lives in a small house in Ohio, the same house where he raised 3 children with his wife. For years, that house was full of noise. Doors opening. Kids running down the hallway. Dinner being made. Arguments over homework. Birthday candles. Christmas mornings. Laundry piled on the couch. Life. Now the house is quiet. Too quiet. His wife passed away 3 years ago. His children call, but not every day. They love him. They really do. But they have jobs, families, bills, and problems of their own. Robert tells them, "I'm doing fine." And most days he is. But some evenings, he sits in the kitchen with one plate on the table and remembers when that same table could barely hold everyone. He does not want pity. He does not want to be a burden. He just wants someone to understand that missing your old life is not weakness. It is love with nowhere to go. Maybe you know that feeling. Maybe your story is different, but the ache is familiar. One hidden struggle of growing old is that the world keeps moving, even when part of your heart is still living in another chapter. You may still remember your parents' voices, your first job, the car you drove when gas was cheap, the smell of your mother's kitchen, the songs that played when you were young, the people who once knew every version of you. And then one day, you look around and realize many of those people are gone. That kind of loneliness is not always about being alone. Sometimes it is about being surrounded by people who only know the older version of you, not the whole story of who you have been. Before you ignore this, think about your own life for a moment. How many times have you said, "I'm fine," when you really meant, "I wish someone would sit with me for a while"? How many times have you kept quiet because you did not want to worry your children? How many times have you felt invisible in a room full of younger people talking over you, rushing past you, or explaining things as if you no longer understand the world? That is another hidden struggle. The feeling of slowly becoming unseen. A cashier may call you sweetie in a way that feels small. A younger relative may grab your phone and say, "Here, let me do it," before giving you a chance to learn. A doctor's office may rush through the appointment. A family dinner may turn into everyone staring at their screens. Nobody may mean harm. But still it hurts. Because older adults do not stop needing respect. They do not stop needing choice. They do not stop needing to feel useful. They do not stop having dreams just because their hair has turned gray. And here is what many seniors discover too late. If you always hide your needs to make life easier for everyone else, people may start believing you have no needs at all. That does not mean you should complain about everything. It means your voice still matters. It is okay to say, "I need help with this." It is okay to say, "I would like you to visit." It is okay to say, "Please do not rush me." It is okay to say, "I still want to be included." There is dignity in honesty. There is strength in speaking gently but clearly. Another struggle is the change in the body. Not just pain. Not just doctor visits. But the emotional shock of realizing your body has become less predictable. Maybe stairs feel different now. Maybe you stand up slower. Maybe you check the weather before making plans. Maybe you used to drive anywhere at night, but now headlights bother you. Maybe you do not talk about it because you do not want people to think you are weak. But aging can make even ordinary things feel like small negotiations. A trip to the store. A walk to the mailbox. Carrying groceries. Opening a jar. Sleeping through the night. These things may seem simple to younger people. But if you are over 60, over 70, or beyond, you know the truth. Sometimes, the hardest battles are the ones nobody sees. Still, there is something important here. Your body may change, but your value does not. Your pace may change, but your purpose does not have to disappear. Sometimes, the smallest change after 60 can bring back peace. A short walk. A phone call every morning with a friend. A chair by the window where sunlight comes in. A simple routine. A church group, a senior center, a library class, a neighbor you check on. A reason to get dressed. A reason to step outside. A reason to feel connected again. Because one of the greatest dangers of growing older is not age itself. It is isolation. It is slowly pulling away from life because you think nobody needs you anymore. But someone does. Maybe a grandchild needs your stories. Maybe a neighbor needs your kindness. Maybe another lonely person needs your call. Maybe your own heart needs you to stop disappearing from your own life. There is also the quiet struggle of identity. For many years, you may have been known by your work. The nurse. The teacher. The mechanic. The mother. The father. The business owner. The caregiver. The one who fixed things. The one who held the family together. Then retirement comes. The children grow up. The daily role changes. And suddenly, you ask yourself a question that feels heavier than expected. Who am I now? That question can be painful. But it can also be the beginning of something honest. You are not only what you used to do. You are not only who needed you. You are not only your job title, your age, your aches, your losses, or your past. You are still a person with wisdom, with memory, with humor, with opinions, with love, with a story that did not end when you turned 60. And what happened next is something many older adults quietly understand. The people who find peace later in life are not always the people with perfect health, perfect families, or perfect homes. Often, they are the people who learn to accept what changed without giving up on what remains. They stop waiting for life to look exactly like it used to. They start asking, what can still be meaningful now? Maybe the answer is smaller than before. But smaller does not mean worthless. A cup of coffee with someone who listens. A morning walk. A garden. A pet. A handwritten letter. A favorite song. A Sunday phone call. A memory shared before it is forgotten. These are not small things. These are the pieces that keep the heart alive. Families need to hear this too. Your aging parent may not always ask for help. Your grandparent may say, "I'm okay," because they do not want to bother you. But behind that simple sentence may be a person who misses being invited, being needed, being touched, being heard. Do not wait until holidays to check in. Do not assume silence means peace. Sometimes silence means they have learned not to ask. A short visit can mean more than you think. A slow conversation can heal more than advice. And for those watching who are growing older right now, please hear this clearly. You are not a burden. You are not invisible. You are not finished. Your life still has meaning, even if it looks different now. You have survived things younger people have not even faced yet. You have buried pain and kept going. You have loved, lost, worked, worried, forgiven, and started over more times than most people know. That matters. Your story matters. And maybe the hidden struggle of growing old in America is not just loneliness, change, or fear of being forgotten. Maybe the deepest struggle is learning how to keep your heart open in a world that does not always slow down for you. But there is hope. Hope does not always arrive as a big miracle. Sometimes hope is a phone call you finally make, a chair you pull onto the porch, a neighbor you smile at, a memory you write down, a boundary you gently speak, a new routine you begin, a small decision to stop living like your best days are all behind you, because they may not look the same as before. But there can still be good days ahead, peaceful days, meaningful days. Days where you laugh again. Days where you feel seen again. Days where you remember that growing older is not only about what time takes away. It is also about what wisdom gives back. So tonight, or tomorrow morning, do one small thing for your own heart. Call someone. Step outside. Write down a memory. Ask for help if you need it. Tell someone the truth. Or simply remind yourself, I am still here. And my life still matters. If this message touched your heart, subscribe to Senior Life Chronicles. And in the comments, tell us one lesson life taught you after 60. Your story may help someone else feel less alone. And if you know an older parent, grandparent, neighbor, or friend who needs to hear this, share it with them. Because sometimes one gentle message can remind a person that they have not been forgotten.